and to be taken away from your family home, where this lease is written that they can just take your personal property and do whatever they want with it.
He's lived in this house in the Toronto Islands for decades, but tomorrow Don Sampson is being forced out of his family home, all because of a rule he says is outdated and unfair.
If the keys are not received on or before January 7th, 2019, the trust will forcibly enter and change the locks.
In late December, Sampson received a letter stating he had a little over 2 weeks to clear the house of all belongings and leave. The letter came from a lawyer representing the Toronto Islands Residential Communities Trust, a corporation created in the early 90s after decades of controversy over whether homes should even be allowed to exist on the islands. Sampson and his family were part of that fight. The trust, whose board includes 4 island residents, now regulates the sale and purchase of homes. Their main goal, to ensure that no island homeowner could make a huge profit by selling their home on the highly coveted land. Now, current owners hold the title to their homes but lease the land from the province. The problem for Sampson is that the deed is under his late brother Bruce's name, and though Bruce left the home to his brother in his will, under the rules set out by the trust, transferring a home to a sibling is not allowed.
I know we signed it back then, but the way it is written, for them to be able to do that is just terrible. Ed, how are you, buddy?
Good.
Yeah.
Today, dozens of friends and supporters gathered at his home to devise a plan on how to handle the situation when the trust comes knocking tomorrow.
Those rules were made like 25 years ago, and it's time to maybe revamp them and change them to be a little more liberal to the people who live here.
Well, it also affects us because we have 4 children between the 2 of us, and 3 of them will be able to inherit our house through our will. The 4th one, she will not, because she would be my stepchild.
Toronto City Councillor Mark Grimes was also on hand this afternoon. Though the islands aren't part of his ward, he's pledging to do what he can to help.
Donnie was showing me the paperwork this morning. I know the lease is with the province. I don't know how much I have to say as a city councillor. I'm not involved at a city councillor level yet, but I probably will start next week. But I'm here as a friend to support Donnie.
CityNews reached out to the trust, but they did not get back to us in time for broadcast. As for tomorrow, Sampson is prepared to do whatever he can to stay in his home.
We did this back in 1980. I'm doing the same thing we did back then.
On Algonquin Island, Erica Natividad, CityNews.